Lunatic, June 12th, 2022. Today's video, bullet journaling. My intro into the bujo.
Current bullet journal. It is teal. I don't know how that color's coming across. Let's see. It is by Smart Planners. It is 160 GSM paper, and you'll see that when I open it. Bought it from Amazon. Everything I use in this video will be listed in the description below. The front is a fabric type of cover. I don't know if you can see here along the edge and here, and you can see the outline here of where I had a thermo sticker on there that had the dates on there, but it came off because of my carelessness and the fact that these covers don't hold very well. So what I went back and do was put it here in Sharpie, and you can see it started 4/1 of 22. So this one's going to run a little longer than a lot of people's bullet journals will, because it's, well, my first one, and I am playing around with it and experimenting with it. And when I first started, I actually started in February with a really poor quality journal from a craft store. I got it really cheap. I actually have two of them that I got really cheap. I was in a craft store. I'll show it to you. It's this right here. It's the Paper Studio. I got them like for $2, I think, because the outer wrapping was gone, and here's the first one that started in February. But as you can see, if you look here, a lot of bleed through, a lot of ghosting, a lot of different things with this one that just they just weren't desirable for me. I have some issues with certain things, like bleeding through paper. That really gets on my nerves. It really bothers me, and I really can't handle it. This one from Smart Planner, it comes with this presentation that is not a sticker. This is a sticker over the top because I went over my handwriting. This is a thermal sticker from my pocket printer, but it does come with this presentation box. Then it comes with 2 key pages, 4 index pages, and then it starts into your dot grid. And as you can see, I bought these on I bought these from Joann's, these tabs. The Joann's by out west in Knoxville was going out of business. They're moving. I don't know how they're still open at the moment, because they haven't been buying anything since April. And they're still open, but they're not going to move into the new store until the end of July, which is just crazy to me. But anyway, so I bought these tabs there. They're self-adhesive, and you just write on them with a Sharpie or a marker of your choice. And then I put a little tape over them so that doesn't wear off. I'm a little anal about that. This here, that is a washi tape. This is a sticker from a sticker book. Let's see what else I got. These are stickers out of a sticker book. Let's go to May. This is all hand drawn by me. It's not a stencil. These are from that washi tape roll. It's actually a 3-pack, and you get the days of the week, you get the months of the year, and then you get a roll of numbers. And I've used those numbers somewhere. I just don't know where I used them. These are all stickers from a sticker pack that was on sale at Joann's. This is thermal paper, and this picture I downloaded off the internet, then I colored it with brush markers, dual-ended brush markers. No, not Tombos. I'm too cheap to buy Tombos. I just bought some cheapies off of Amazon that work just as well. And here you can see that thermal sticker paper for my pocket printer. This is it in black and white. I didn't color this one. I just felt that was a fit. And this is the end of May. Here we are in June. This is June's cover page. You can see where I went with my Signo white pen and covered over some mistakes, but the ink from the markers didn't take on that white. This is just black construction paper that I cut out and glued in here. These are, if you go into craft stores, they have large sheets of different types of custom paper. All I did was tear a couple pieces off and glued them in. This is a what's called a page dart, or a book dart. Now the ones that are in here are the old ones. These are the old ones. I'll show you what the new ones look like. I think they're over here in my other container. Let me look. That little tin I just showed you actually comes with these in them. I love these for reading books, and I like to use them in my bujo sometimes. They just slide onto the page like that, and you can mark important dates, and they allow the book in question to close completely flat because they are so thin, so that you don't have your book getting thicker and thicker and thicker. Here's the week we're currently in. As you can see, I really didn't have anything planned for today other than YouTube stuff, and I didn't write that in because it was like a last minute change last night. And then this will begin my next week. This is another one of my spreads. This is my positives page for June. There's July's cover. Really was kind of at a loss of what to do for July's month at a glance. I probably could have put it all on one page if I'd wanted to. And then here's August. There's August's cover. And something I'm doing that I haven't seen anybody else do is a 6-month bullet journal evaluation after I've been working on one for 6 months. Like I said, this one starts in April, but if you notice from that first journal, I actually started in February. So February through July, through the end of July, that's kind of 6. I didn't anyway, I haven't seen anybody else do this as a bullet journal evaluation. I'm going to do a 6-month, and I'm going to put everything here that has worked for me, is not working for me, spreads that I like better than others. I'll put that in list form, maybe some doodles here so I know what's working for me, so that when I go into the following months, I will know what works for me and what doesn't. And you can see I've already laid out August, just because I can, and I haven't started September. All I've done is label September's pages, and I will show you in my collections journal why I did that. Let me go back and put my marker in for next week. Anyway, this is the one I'm using now. It's a very nice journal, with the exception of the cover. I am a bit of a crazy person when it comes to, for lack of a better term, when it comes to the cleanliness of things. So like if I'm handling a book and that book is not clean, before I can ever read that book, I have to clean that book up. It just drives me bananas. That's why I tend to not get a lot of books from the library, because they tend to be in very bad shape, and I just can't handle it. It drives my brain nuts. So after I'd had this one for a little while, and I noticed that the edges were getting much darker. I don't know if you can see that. They were just really getting dark along this edge from your hand oils, from handling it daily. You know, I keep it in a cover. I'll show you that cover so you can see what I'm talking about. So you know it's not an environmental thing. This is what I keep my journal in. It goes in this zippered cover. In this cover, I've got my mild liners that I use for my daily spreads. These are my blood sugar tracker pens. These are the stickers I use on a regular basis. This is a stencil plus ruler. Here's all the rest of my mild liners in these Velcro bags that go in the center, along with my eraser that I use. And I will tell you guys that I have used all sorts of erasers over the years. And then I was in the store, and this one was on sale for like 99 cents. It came in a 2-pack. And I was like, oh, what's the big deal? I can try it for 99 cents. No big deal. What's another eraser, right? This is the absolute best eraser I have ever used. And I've used the expensive kneaded ones, the gum erasers. I'll show you another one that I've got in here that is a pretty good eraser, but it doesn't compare to that one. And that's this Magic Rub by Prismacolor. This one erases really well too. But this one, which is called a Moo eraser, M-O-O, is way better than this one. And this one is really good. You know, for years I was a fan and an advocate for the Pink Pearl, because it's what I grew up with in school. It's what I used all the time. And I thought, oh, you know, it's one of the best erasers. It works. It doesn't hold a candle to either one of these. And this one doesn't hold a candle to this one. The Moo eraser, it was like, I think 99 cents for 2 on sale, $1.99 regular price for 2 in a pack on at regular price for $1.99 for 2, and it is absolutely incredible. It erases very cleanly. I don't have any lines. I don't have any ghosting with the pencil. A lot of times, because I like to use a thicker, heavier lead pencil, this is the pencil I use. It's just a cheap Bic mechanical. However, the lead I use in it is a 9mm, which makes it heavier and thicker, and it goes on the paper heavier, which makes it a little harder to erase. It's like using a number 2 HB, which is a high density polymer lead, which is harder to erase. And that Moo eraser gets it off cleanly, and I'll show you that. Then back here, I've got just various pens. I've got my white Signo, come in a 3-pack, white, silver, and gold. I don't use the silver and gold very much. I've got my liquid whiteout for large things that have to be gone over mistakes. Let me tell you this, when you bullet journal, I learned it very quickly. Do not ever abandon a page and pull it out, cut it out of your journal, throw it away, not use it. There are ways to correct your mistakes so you can reuse that page. I'm experimenting with liners. Let me show you the rest of those tabs that are on the journal now. This is what they come as. You get, I think there were 24 to a pack. I don't remember. They were on sale. I know other craft stores carry them. Anyway, they're, you know, back in the craft department where the planners and scrapbook stuff is sold. But you know, they're just kind of art deco-ish, I guess, and they really work well. And then you get, you know, other ones that look, you know, they're really decent, and they hold onto the paper really well. I haven't had one come off yet. I don't put any extra adhesive on them. I don't put any extra tape on them. The only tape I put on is once it goes into the journal, I tape over the name of the month, because when you're flipping it back and forth and using it with your hand, you can rub that marker off. And you can even see some rubbing here, where I've handled that one quite a bit, because I used that one as a, I was using that one as a guide instead, because after you stick them to the paper, you can't move them. So I use it to put on there. Well, maybe this is where this one needs to go, and whatnot. So I just stick those in there, and then like I said, I'm experimenting with some liners. When I first started bullet journaling in February, and I was looking for bullet journal supplies. Apparently in February there was a run on bullet journal supplies, because I couldn't find fine liners anywhere. What I really wanted was Sakura fine liners, the Pigma Microns. Couldn't find them anywhere. Nobody had them. I'm still having trouble finding them now. I do know that Jet Pens on jetpens.com carries all of them, but even they've had trouble keeping them in stock. So I was in Joann's and I found these these art alternatives, and they're sold in other stores as well, regular art stores, like Jerry's Artorama, and they're a pretty good, fine liner, but they run out quick. I've already used up the 1mm. They come in let's see, what we got, a 0.05, a 0.1, a 0.3, 0.5, and a 0.7, as well as a 1.0 millimeter. And the 1.0 is already gone. I mean, I've already run it out of ink. It's dead. I had to throw it away. They're good pens. They just run out quick. But I have been doing quite a bit of bullet journaling, and I have put up quite a few setups and drawings and whatnot. So then I picked up these at Michael's. They're Faber-Castell. It's the medium, the small, the extra small, and the brush. If I can take the brush out of there, I can go in my pen box. I don't use brush pens other than the markers, and only when I'm coloring something in, as far as doing lining or writing in the journal, or I don't use brush pens, mainly because I don't have the talent to do hand lettering like other people do. So I don't use those. Here's another tool that I will introduce you to. I got introduced to this by Joshi Curran. Joshi Curran on YouTube. She is a great YouTuber. She does some great spreads. She's a great bullet journaler, but she uses this for her circles and anything curved in her journals, and I really like it. And it's only $5 in the right place. I won't tell you what store I found it in, because everybody seems to hate that store. But if you want to shop in it, I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. They have some questionable ethics and some questionable standards, and have been caught dealing in black market antiquities. But anyway, their yarn's cheaper than anywhere else, which fits my budget, and this was $4.99. It's $9 on Amazon. Exact same brand. No difference in brand. $9 on Amazon, $4.99 at, the Evil Empire store. This I got from Mark at Men Who Bullet. It was just a download. It is a A5 grid spacing cheat sheet. I don't remember what it was. I think it was like $2 or something. This is an actual really excellent grid spacing guide that I use. I keep it in here. So when I'm, doing a new spread, trying to figure out what I'm going to do, I don't have any issues with it. I'm going to show you one other thing that I bought recently. And some of you people may know of who they are and whatnot. But I'm going to tell you, I was super disappointed. I was super let down, and I felt like I was scammed. On Etsy, they also have their own website, is Moxie Doxy or Doxy Moxie. Moxie Dory, I'm sorry, Moxie Dory. This is their journal ruler. On Etsy and on their website, it looks like it's a nice, hard plastic ruler. It's a piece of cut plastic, and it's cut poorly. You can see right here, it's cut poorly. It's not even cut very well. It's like they cut it with a pair of scissors. But it's like a plastic sheeting, and it's not even as thick as 160 GSM paper. $6 freaking plus tax and shipping, 10, almost 11 bucks. I got a download that's a whole lot better than theirs, that lines up better, from Mark at Men Who Bullet for $2. I felt cheated. So let me show you the other journals that I have here that I'm using. Now, if you go on Amazon, this is where I get them from. I'm disabled. I'm physically disabled, so getting out and shopping is a challenge for me. Not to mention, in the area I live in, finding a quality journal is near to impossible in a local store. Unless you want to pay $50 for the journal. I don't have that kind of cash. So I buy from Amazon. I know that's a roll of the dice because you never know what you're going to get when you get it. However, I've been lucky so far. Like I said, I got that smart planner, Amazon, $16. Comes with, what did it come with? It came with some stickers and a stencil, I think. I can look right quick. Just so I don't tell you wrong. I may have them confused. Oh no, I'm sorry. The Smart Planner one doesn't come with anything other than it's got 3 ribbon markers, which is better than most. Most only come with 2 or 1. It's 160 GSM paper, really good 160 GSM paper. I haven't had any bleeding, no ghosting, no nothing with it. It's got 2 key pages, 4 index pages. Something else I didn't show you in the Smart Planner one is in the back. Of course, it's got the gusseted pocket, and I've got some stickers in there that I use. But it's got pen test pages. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I set up my bullet journal guides in the back. I do that in every journal I do, so I know how many boxes I've got, how many lines I've got, how many dots I've got, so I know what kind of grid spacing I'm working with. And then I put in Mark's grid spacing guide, just because I know if I don't and I continue to use that piece of paper is going to be totally destroyed. Anyway, with the pen test page, it just says pen test and it's open here. I drew these lines in, and then I test what I want to test, what I'm using. This is hard to find. I've noticed these other bullet journals, and they're numbered, by the way, and they have good margin spacing around all the edges. It's a 5mm grid spacing. It's a really good journal. My only gripe and complaint, and I really can't gripe and complain too awfully much, is their cover being fabric. It picks up all the dirt and everything, because the journal's only like $15. And if you've got Prime, free shipping. So, I mean, you really can't beat that. I mean, you figure in tax for your local area. We're talking, The journal's $14.98 plus your tax. So where I live, which is Tennessee, little over 16 bucks, you know, or right at $16. That's not bad for a good quality 160 GSM journal that has numbered pages, index pages, key pages, pen test pages. And you're going to see what I'm talking about when we look at these other two, which were more expensive and don't have near as many features. So let's take a look. Let's start with this one. This is the one I just recently got this past week. I think Wednesday is when it came. Now, I will say it has a very nice cover. It's vegan leather. It's got a little embossed squirrel with a little gold embossed acorn. It's got a nice, you know, stretchy strap. It's got a pin loop. It's got the gusseted pocket, which makes it very nice. It comes with this little stencil, which would be good for, you know, doing, you know, some headers and some speech bubbles and you know, just some common little things like that, little flags. A little rounded box and timed boxes if you're doing a clock type thing. So, you know, it comes with that little cheapy stencil. And it's and here's the funny thing, you know, that Moxie Dory spacing ruler that I showed you. This is better quality than this. And it came free with the journal. I mean, like I said, I felt cheated by Moxie Dory. I haven't asked for my money back because, you know, I ordered it of my own free will. I wasn't forced. It doesn't say in their description it's hard plastic or anything like that. It was just what my expectation was. And obviously my expectation was wrong. So anyway, if you go on Amazon and you look at these particular products, and they'll be linked in the description, you'll see my reviews of these. And I will tell you, I am 100% an honest reviewer. And I honestly review things because I just think that you should be honest in all your dealings with people. I don't see any reason to lie about something. And none of these have been provided to me. I bought these with my own money, of my own free will. So anyway, let's look at this one. It's got a nice little vegan leather. This will be my follow-up journal for my for the rest of the year. Once I am out of the Smart Planner, after I've exhausted the Smart Planner. This one, no presentation page, no key pages, no index pages. And all I've done is put my, you know, this journal belongs to in it. It's got one ribbon for the entire journal. It is dot gridded. They're very, very light. So if you have eyesight problems like I do, you either have to do it in very bright light, or you're going to have to get really close to it. I tend to journal in my living room because I like to do it while I'm watching TV at night, while sitting in my recliner. And this one is going to be a challenge to get grid lines drawn and proper setups drawn. I'll probably have to do them down here under the brighter light at my desk, just so I can see the dots. They are numbered pages, completely numbered. There are 160 pages. You know, it is 100. It states it's 160 GSM. I will say with these pages, the center part of the page has a good margin. The rest of the page sucks. There are almost no more margins at the top and bottom. very little margin on the outer edge, and the page number is embedded into your dot grid in the corner, unlike other journals who don't do that, and they give you a nice edge. And the funny thing is, even though they have done that in this journal, you don't get any more dots. You have the same amount of dots as there is in, say, an Archer and Olive, or in any of the others that I've tried so far. I have yet to try Archer and Olive because they're just a bit pricey for me. Now here's what I was talking about. It states it's 160 GSM. As you can see, this is a blank page, but you can tell it's ghosted and almost bled through a supposed 160 GSM paper. That's an issue. Here's that grid spacing that I do in all my journals. I will say that this journal is $19 before tax. It states in there, and this may be why it ghosts and partially bleeds at 160 GSM. It states in the description that it's bamboo paper. I don't know if that makes a difference. I just don't know. I don't know anything about bamboo paper. I do know it takes a little longer to dry on this, but you have ghosting and bleeding, and that's a problem at 160 GSM. You shouldn't have any ghosting or bleeding with 160 GSM paper. And let me just show you side by side. Here's the grid space, right? Let's look at the cheaper journal, 160 GSM paper. Same page. See, there's the grid spacing, showing you it can't be, it's not double paged. As you can see, here's the grid spacing. No ghosting. Ghosting. And I want you to just hear this. Hear how that paper makes a sound? Not the same. Not the same. And this is what I was talking about, how the page numbers are embedded into your dot grid. Let me see if you can tell it here. You can see here's the 154, and here's the last row of dots. I don't know if you can see that. It's really light. Let me get it up closer to the camera. See, here's the number, and there's the last row, but they're really light. But your number's embedded in your rows, because here's your first column of dots. Here, just so it's an even fit, so you can see what I'm talking about. Here's that cheaper smart planner. The last row of dots is above the page number. They're darker. The first column doesn't even come down to the top of the page number. You know, and I want you to see, it's easier to see here, because I don't have the ribbon in the way, but you see you've got a margin here, you've got a little margin there, a little margin there, and a better margin here. You don't get that with this. Look, I'm at the top grid, and there is almost no margin. I'm at the bottom where that number goes. No margin. That's an issue if you're doing a lot of spreads. It's going to be a problem, I'm telling you. And in the number, I mean, their numbers are bigger, which is fine. I mean, I don't think that's necessary. I mean, the numbers in this one are smaller print. This is a bigger font, a bigger typeset. I would say that this one it looks like it's probably a 12, and this is probably a 10 point type. But that really shouldn't make a difference. You should be able to do that and not interfere with your dot grid. But we'll see how this journal performs once I'm out of the Smart Planner journal and having to use this one on a daily. Now I did go back here and, I did my grid spacing and that I usually do. And I did a little pen test. There are no pen test pages in this one, by the way. The page numbers run right up to the end of the journal. And there are 160 pages in this one as well. I even put my washies here so I could see how they looked on this ivory paper. It's an ivory paper, not a white. Here's those rolls of numbers and days and months I was talking about, washi tapes. It does have a gusseted pocket at the back, which is nice. I mean, it's a nice pocket, just like most of the rest. I'm gonna make a comment here about it. It's a poorly produced journal. Not only do we have the grid spacing issue, we have the margin issue, but I'm going to show you something here. You see how this gusseted pocket runs right up to the edge here? And we are at, from the edge, 1 millimeter. On this end, from the edge, it is 2 millimeters. In this corner, from the bottom of the pocket to the edge, 2 millimeters. From this corner of the pocket to the edge, 5 millimeters. On this one, you've got 3 millimeters at the bottom. Five at the top of the pocket. So the pocket's not even because they didn't put it in even. They didn't glue it in even. So when you start to put stuff in and it starts to expand out, your journal, instead of being flat, is going to be wonkied because one side's going to be uneven. You have the same problem with this journal that you have with other journals. Your first couple pages are glued, not sewn. So, it pulls the page and you lose, what is that? Almost a full centimeter, which is 10 millimeters on the edge on your very first page. And then your next pages are glued to that and sewn into the book. It is sewn in most places. There are a couple other glued spots, like right here. This one's glued. This back one is glued right here. So you get that page overlap, see? So yeah, but you have that in most journals because of the way that they have to assemble them so that the pages stay in securely. But there are things they could do to combat that. But overall, I mean, it's a nice cover. It's a nice pen loop. The elastic strap works well. It does only have one marker, one book marker. That's kind of a drawback because sometimes I need to mark multiple pages. That's why I have book darts and paper clips and paper bookmarks and such, because I knew that would end up happening. This one is my long-term journal. I really had issues with this when I first got it, and I'll explain what happened. But first, let me give you the specs on this one. Let me go back for a minute. The first one was a Smart Planner. That gray one with the squirrel on the front is made by Buke, B-U-K-E, or Buki, I don't know how you want to say it. And it's $18.69 plus tax and all that good stuff. This one, however, it's got a nice vegan leather cover, and it's got nice embossed stars and moon on the front, and it's nice. It's got 2 secured bookmarks. It comes with stickers. It is a vegan leather. It's hardback. the paper is white, which I like over the ivory. It does come in multiple colors. It's $20, $19.79 plus tax. And when you open it, but let me tell you what happened when I first got it. It comes in a presentation box. Inside the presentation box, it's wrapped in paper. Then when you take that off, it's got a belly band on it. And that's where I had the issue. Because I ordered a 160 GSM planner, journal, notebook. The belly band said 120 GSM. Well, I had a meltdown. And, I started looking at it, and I was like, this isn't living up to what it's supposed to. I mean, there's no page numbers. There's no key pages, no index pages, no pen test pages. It's offset a little bit, kind of shifted, like it's been crushed. It said 120 GSM. The pen loop isn't attached. You have to attach that yourself, which is fine because I prefer mine on the outside cover, not underneath the last page of the cover. It's made by Jewelmore. But after I posted my review on Amazon, which was scathing, the company reached out to me. When Jewelmore reached out to me, they were like, we're sorry for the confusion. We assure you it is 160 GSM. It just had the wrong belly band on it. So I started taking a little deeper look at it. And of course, you have that same glued page, but their glued page isn't part of your dot grid like the other one. No presentation page, so of course I had to create my own. This is my long-term journal collections and trackers. Here's my first tracker, eliminating stuff on my credit report, extra payments on my car loan. This is my Amazon book royalties, so I have books on Amazon. Extra payments on another loan. This is like site log stuff for genealogy websites. And this is what I was talking about, knowing what I had in the back of that journal and why I knew that I had labeled those pages in the Smart Planner for September. I do a monthly spread checklist so I don't miss anything. Not so bright upstairs sometimes, don't have it all together, so I make me a checklist. So when I'm doing a spread, I'm able to check off exactly what I've done. And this one will cover up to October of 2023. This tracker. That's what I said, that your long-term collections and trackers journal you may use for 2-3 years, depending on what you put in it or what you keep in it. Mine's not going to last that long because after I've completed this stuff, the stuff that's going to go in it, and then we're going to do some of that today, is the spreads I like to use. I'm going to curate those and put them in this so I know exactly which ones work for me, which ones I like. And that way, when I do my 6-month bujo evaluation in July, at the end of July, I can look back and go, oh yeah, that one's in my collections journal. That one really worked for me. We'll do that one again. And I know a lot of people, I've seen them online, they do their bullet journal and they have the same spread week to week to week, the month, because they find one they really like. I like to change it up a little bit just so things aren't so monotonous and boring. It's just a personal thing. But let me go ahead and show you what we're working with. I know you can see some of the pencil marks in here. So let's go ahead and begin. We'll turn it this way. That'd be the easiest. I am using the Art Alternatives pigment liner in the 0.7 millimeter. And actually, it's probably going to be better for me to do it this way. So, I know, because I've already put my lines in with pencil lightly, that this spread, as long as I don't make a mess. Actually, Actually, let's do it this way first. Let's do these ones first. Rulers, they're your best friend, by the way. And I got these on Amazon as well. They're just cheap. This one I got at Walgreens. This one came in a 2-pack from Amazon for, I think, $1.99. But I've had them for a while. I didn't buy them this year. These ones I bought, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago for other things. So anyway, we're going to start by making our first line here. And I did go outside of the first row, grid row here. And you'll see why in just a second. Okay. We're just drawing in a little flag. This weekly spread has flags where you put the days of the week on the flag and the date instead of, like writing it at the top or putting it in a box or things of that nature. So I will do my flags first. Just so they're in. That gives you a good reference point for your box. As you can see, this is a decent liner, 7mm, 0.7mm, excuse me, and it's got nice dark features. And it's nice and thick enough to where it can be seen. It, just pretty decent. And they were cheaper than most of your liners by about, they came as a pack of 6. And I want to say they were $2 cheaper than other liners in packs. Okay, we're going to do this one here. And while I'm in the vertical, let's go ahead and put this one in. Okay. And then we'll do the horizontals. I'm sure you guys know I am still shooting video using my iPad and my iPhone until I find a decent camera I can afford. And maybe as following grows and I get more people, if I decide to go a Patreon or a membership route, if my following grows large enough on YouTube, then maybe I can, invest some of that. If I can get monetized, I can invest some of that back into buying a better camera. All right, where are we at here? Okay. So, I did the regular lines there. For the flags, where the name of the week, the name of the day is going to go, and the date. So then I'm going to put in my lines for the top of the box. And then I'm going to put in the verticals. So because we made that flag and we want it to appear like it's, hanging over the edge of the box, you got to make sure that you don't go through your flag when you're drawing your box lines. If you do, you're going to completely ruin the effect. And here's a perfect example of where I've screwed up already. So I wasn't paying attention close enough, and I probably should have done my horizontals first. But as you can see, I have run over the edge of my box, of the buffer area between the two boxes. So get out our little handy dandy white Signo. You can use a jelly roll. I have jelly rolls. I find them to be a poor substitute for the Signo. Even though they're made by Sakura, which is a good quality pen company, their jelly roll, I just don't care for them. Their jelly roll white pens just, they don't do it for me. I personally think they're very poor quality. The ink doesn't roll out very well. It doesn't flow. It's just not a good experience as far as I'm concerned. Okay. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and put my horizontal down here too before I make a mistake again. Yeah, because that's just how I roll. I'm the mistake king or queen. Yeah, I go by they, them, so, you know. Mistake, king, queen, whatever feels you're having that day that you want to call me. Really identify masculine or feminine. All right, let's put these horizontals in right quick. And let me say, with bullet journaling, you don't have to buy a dot grid bullet journal if that's not what works for you. You know, I encourage everyone that is wanting to get involved with bullet journaling. If you have never bullet journaled before, I really suggest that you go on Ryder Carroll's site and look at how he developed the first bullet journal and how he developed the system of bullet journaling. Bullet journaling is a system. It's not a creative process. Yes, there are those of us who have added creative elements. But bullet journaling is not a creative process. It's a system. And I'll show you that in just a moment as well. And not all parts of the system work for everybody. You know, there are things and elements that people have added to bullet journaling that Ryder Carroll would never use, and he's the one who created bullet journaling. So, you know, there are aspects that that people do that work for them that won't work for you, and there's things I do that work for me that won't work for you, and there's things that work for you that won't work for me. And you know, I watch a lot of bujo on creators on YouTube to glean from them what works for them that might work for me. I give it a try, and if it works for me, I keep it. If it doesn't work for me, then I abandon it and move on. And that's really what you have to do. I mean, you can't be locked into the what's the words I'm looking for? The thought process of bullet journaling is this way and this way only. You know, and you can't be locked into, oh, you know, I was watching Mark at Men Who Bullet or Joshi Curran over at Joshi Curran, and they said that they do it this way, so that must be the proper way to do it. There really is no proper way other than working the system. And like I said, not all elements of the system are going to work for everybody. Like, my life is not so completely structured because of the nature of my life that I require a future log. It just doesn't work for me. So I don't use one. Because I don't migrate things to a future log. I will migrate things between weeks or between days, but I have no need to migrate things months in advance. And I don't have things that carry over from month to month like that. I just don't. You know, I work part-time, and the work I do doesn't have a lot of end goal requirements where, you know, you're working on a project and you have to have X done by X date. That's just not the nature of the work I do. And I don't really have those requirements in my personal life because I don't put those kinds of stressors on myself. Once upon a time, land far, far away, yeah, I would have put those stressors on myself, and I would have stressed about it all the time. In fact, that's what caused my first heart attack, was stressing. The doctor said my first heart attack was 100% stress-induced. So, you learn a lot after you go through things like that, and you learn how to let things just roll. Well, I mean, some of us do, some of us don't. My father never did. And he figured he would learn after the 5th heart attack, but no. Anyway, so I don't put those kinds of stressors on myself, so I don't have a requirement for a future log, so I don't use a future log. But I still migrate things within my journal. It's just like I track my blood sugars. Not everybody's going to need to do that. I mean, not everybody's a diabetic. And not everybody's a brittle diabetic. I track all of my, all the podcasts I listen to that are scheduled podcasts. I track all those, so I know when they're coming on and when to listen, and, that way I'm not going, oh man, I missed so-and-so tonight. Well, no. If I have it written in my bullet journal, then I can properly plan. I am a planner. I am not one of these people that just goes, when somebody says, so what are we doing tonight? Well, I don't know. No, I'm not that type of person. I have to know what's going on when. Otherwise, I completely freak out. I am also a, what was the term that was used the other day? I am a serial time bufferist. I had to ask what that meant. That's probably why I can't remember it. And what that means is that when it comes to appointments or going to somebody's house for something, I build time buffers into my schedule. So if my doctor says, hey, your appointment is at 8 o'clock on Monday, and I know from my house to his front door it's an hour and 22 minutes, then, most people would leave their house, an hour and a half early. So if your appointment's at 8, you're going to leave it, 6:30. No. My appointment's at 8, and I know it takes me an hour and 20 minutes to drive to his office. I'm leaving my house at 5:30. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm never late. I never miss an appointment. I am always early. I adopted a thought a long time ago. I will have to say it's probably the only thing I can honestly say I took away from Dr. Mark Rasmussen at Crown College, which was, if you're on time, you're early. Or if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. So I'm never late. I build buffers into everything I do. If someone says, "Hey, what time do you want to meet?" Let's do dinner at 8 o'clock, and I'll be like, "Oh, that really doesn't work for me. We need to meet at 7:30," because I know they're going to be late. Because people are serially late. They don't care about other people. But now me, if somebody says, "Hey, let's get together, let's meet at 8 o'clock," I'm going to leave my house in enough time to be there by 7:30 or 7:15 or even 7 o'clock. Do I care that I'm early? Nope. I make sure that I have activity in my car that I can do to pass the time if I'm that early. There have been times when my appointment has been at 8 o'clock at the doctor's office. And this is why I build time buffers into everything I do. My appointment's been at 8 o'clock. I have left my house at 5:30. And I pull in their parking lot at 7:50 because of traffic issues. You never know what you're going to encounter between your house and where you're going for your appointment. Let's just use an example of going for a job interview. I have often been in the position where I'm the person who makes the decision behind hiring and firing people. I have been a manager and a supervisor for many, many different companies where that decision was left up to me. And I will tell you, if I schedule an interview with somebody and they arrive late and they tell me, "Oh, I'm so sorry, there was a traffic issue on the freeway, and I left in plenty of time to get here, but there was an accident and I couldn't help it," my response is, "Thank you for coming. We've decided to go with someone else." And the reason is because you can't honestly say, "I left in enough time to get here," if you didn't account for that there might be an accident that'll slow you down and you won't make it on time. Just because you poorly plan doesn't mean that everyone else should have to give you consideration for that. So I build time buffers into everything I do. Okay, so as you can see here, this is one of the setups I use in my bullet journal. And I like to put the month here. So let's just say we were doing, this month, let's just say this was June. I would put June here. And like I said, I am not a hand lettering expert. So what you see is what you get. And then I would put the month here. It's June. And then I would put the dates. So let's say this is for next week. It would be June 13th through, what is that? The 20th, I think. no, 19th. 13th through the 19th. And I would put 13 through 19 here. And then, and I know this is really strange to most people, I track the week number here. So the 13th to the 20 or through the 19th is going to be week number 25 for the year. And then I will put over here 2022. All right, and then here you get Monday. I always start my weeks on Monday. You can start on Sunday, whatever works for you. If you start them on Sunday, then these dates are going to be different. If you start on Sunday, this would be the 12th through the 18th. So Monday, MON, I abbreviate it, and then I put the 13 here. And then Tuesday, and that's the 14th. Or you can do it like this. Or you can do it like this. Or you can even do it like this. And then, of course, you've got your Saturday and your Sunday. And then this last space on here is always your to-do and notes. And then you can embellish this however you want. You want to leave it just like this, you can leave it just like that. If you want to go in and put in times, I leave them just like this, but you can go in and put in your times if that's how you want to structure it. But this really doesn't lend this spread doesn't lend itself to time slots. But because this is my spread and not my my other pen go. As this is just my spread example in my long-term journal, I do this. I know that each one of these boxes is 17. This way. And then I know that each one of these is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So I know that there's 12 here. I know that there's 12 here, 12 here, 12 here, 12 here, 12 here, 12 here, and 12 here. But I also know that there are 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, and 17. But I also know that right here is going to be 2 and 2. And that right here is 4 and 4. That way I know what my counts are when I look at this, and I can easily look, I can lay this open right here, and I can get my journal out, and I can go, okay, we're going to lay down some weekly spreads for September. So I can get my pencil out, and I can get my ruler, and I can go, oh, look, we're going to do 17. So I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So then I can just make a little box right here. That's the corner. And then I know they're going to be 12 across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So then I make a little box right there. And I know there's a 2 here, so there's going to be a box here. And then, of course, your next box is going to be on the end. But then I know coming here, you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. And your next box is going to start right there. And we already know that that one goes to the end of the page. And then we know that this is going to be a 12 across, right? So we just go up here to where that one's at. We know it's on this row of, or this column of dots. And we know it's going to be on this row. So we got a box right here. And a box right there. Skip 2, we got a box here. And a box here. And then we've got a box there. And there. And we can just draw that in now. And then we don't have to do a bunch of counting. But, just to verify, we know that's 17 because we already counted it. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh, no, I've got 18. Something didn't ring out there. Skip one. Ah, maybe more. Let's take a look. In our setup journal, we've got 38 and 26, and I think the Smart Journal has 40. The Smart Planner. Yeah, see, the Smart Planner has 39 rather than 38, so we have to account for that here in Smart Planner. That's another problem with journals. They're not all uniform. This one has more dots than this one does. So you go with what your planner is so that everything's even, and then you apply it to the one you're working in. Like this one I know has an extra row, so that just means I have to account for that. So I can either shorten this up, lengthen the box, or what I actually do is go up here and widen my gap. So then I just need to adjust my gap. And that gives me more space to, write my month and week and dates and year and whatever. But that's why this is so important in all your journals. Put in your horizontal, put in your vertical, put in your spacing. Personally, I like, put this one away. I like the way I have it set up in this one. Let me show you. As you can see, no, not this one, the gray one. I corrected it in the gray one, I'm sorry. If you go and you look in the gray one, and you go to the grid spacing, I like how I've done it in this one. It just makes more sense. One single page where you've got your box count. I don't usually count dots, I count boxes, because your boxes is what you're going to write, and you're not going to write in your dots. And then I count my boxes this way, because that's your complete lines of space that you're going to write text. We all know that where your number is at, if you count a box, that top row is going to be where your outline's at. Right? And then I draw in these lines here. From here to here, split down the middle is 19 and 19. Dots. With a 1 grid spacing. From here to here is 26. From here to there is 39. From here to there is 13. From there to there is 13. From this outer edge to this outer edge is 13 millimeters. That's also important to have, information to have is how wide your book is. Because if it's wider than what you're used to, then, or wider than what you're used to using, you're going to end up with more dots and more boxes. And you're going to need to be able to split that space evenly in some respects, especially if you're doing any kind of artistic impressions, any kind of artistic drawings or anything on your bullet journal. I walked through one spread with you guys. I will do another one down the line, and I will continue to post my bullet journal stuff along with everything else on this channel. This is the Craft Lunatic signing out. Remember, stay happy, stay smiling, stay crafting.